Okay, I'm gonna try and record just on my iPad because I realized I don't have a whole lot of other audio on the road type of equipment to just record mobily. So hopefully it sounds okay. I'm gonna do some post processing for you guys, and hopefully it doesn't sound like a total garbage dumpster fire. So I apologize in advance. But yeah, it's been a freaking hot minute since the last TreeBark episode, and part of the reason why I wanted to kickstart this again was that I genuinely love updating and sharing just sort of this vloggy type of audio format just about my art life, furry life, and just the happenings that maybe cross my path in the world. And I don't know, I just think that that's a really good time to decompress and like think about like what the hell's happening. So I really do appreciate everyone that takes the time to listen to this, and even those on Twitter too. You guys have just commented or sent me a DM just inquiring about the podcast, and I really appreciate that. It really does mean a lot because it shows to me that, people are genuinely interested in like some things that are in the happenings of my life and my friends' lives. So, yeah, that goes a long way. And just more fuel to the fire and motivation, etc. So yeah, let's kick it off. Okay, so I mean, not to start things off slowly or anything, but just to get right into the fray of it, the thing that's been like basically consuming up most of my time, other than regular life stuff, day job stuff, me and my family have basically just been constructing a whole nother room in our house to serve as my art studio, a full-time art space where I can literally just dedicate my physical presence and portion of my day to just focusing on doing like this podcast and my regular commissions for, on Twitter and stuff. It's all just gonna be encompassed in that little art studio that I'm gonna have to myself, and I can just go ham and just, I don't know, really just have a place now that I can call truly my own, that is totally dedicated to just creative work. And I can't emphasize enough how much I appreciate my boyfriend and my mom for helping me just steadily progress and then make every inch and step closer to my dream job, basically. The creative space, making art, illustrations, just in general, sharing fun, wacky ideas is what I love to do. And when I first, had the idea that, like, hey, let's make a art studio. Uh, my family was super supportive already. They understand like what I like to focus on and how much I dedicate to art. So that's totally invaluable, and I absolutely love them for it. My mom is an absolute force of nature. She like plans out and tells Blarg and I like all the steps to do to build this room, to lay the foundation of the concrete, to establish the walls to the ceiling, to fix the windows into place, to caulking, to drywalling, a little bit of electrical, everything. And it's really amazing, and I can't appreciate my mother enough for helping make this dream of mine a reality, and my wonderful, incredible boyfriend for being there every step of the way, taking time away from his own endeavors, and then just helping me make this space. It really does mean a lot, and I can't stop emphasizing that enough because it takes hard ass labor and time and focus that I don't always have, even when I'm trying to help. So thank you very much, guys. We're still working on it right now. I would say that we laid the foundation. We have our walls up. This I'm just gonna also like preface. This is kind of a late update, and we're actually in the middle of this whole construction. So if you've been following me on Twitter, I've been posting a little thread where I've posted pictures about the kind of major progressions through the art studio build. So yeah, I showed the foundation being laid, the windows and walls going up. I just recently started painting and primering all of the exterior walls that we had just buttoned up. So we have now an LED light panel in the studio. We have some drywall and insulation up in one of the walls. Some of the other walls are bare, but we're going to have to do the same thing to those. Another major thing that we completed was the base foundation for a couple of steps that I have inside the room that lead from the studio art room to our regular bedroom. So please check out the pictures because it's a lot easier to explain while you look at the picture on my Twitter. But if you were to look at the studio, it's basically buttoned up against Blarg and I's existing room. So I'm literally a wall away from the bay at all times. And he can use our existing bedroom with our Murphy bed in there. He can collapse that and then do a full VR room and creative space and office for himself that he could use for his Twitch streaming. So that'll be really awesome. And then I will be on the other side of the wall in my glorified closet, working on my digital art. And it's, I think, like a beautiful merriment of both of our creative workspaces, because the problem that sort of stemmed and sparked this whole construction was that we share a space, and we're two big grown-ass men, and we have to compromise a lot on what we do together around each other, and both of our lines of works are kind of conflicting because as an illustrator and sort of just as an introvert as a whole, I like to just be in my little nook and corner and then work on digital art on the side, and then just like kind of be in my own little quiet space. Blarg is not totally introverted like me, so he's loud and bombastic and like a lot of fun, and he's streaming with friends and often like a really loud VR chat room and stuff. So he's not gonna be whispering or anything. That'd be crazy. Like he's gonna match that energy level, and he's gonna bounce around and stuff. So he's gonna just have his own dedicated space for that, and I can have my own little quiet nook on the side behind the wall. So I think that is like a perfect way to keep the peace and keep everybody happy and creative and pumping out work and projects. So I'm really looking forward to having this room finished. So far, I think we're estimating it'll probably be. We've been working on the room for about, I want to say 3 weeks now, and we've been pretty much exclusively getting the bulk of the work done per weekend. So just, weekend warrioring it up. Yeah, and I think we've only got a couple more weekends left for basically 80% of the work to be done, completed. And then the rest would be like flooring, buttoning up the molding trims on the inside, painting the drywall, etc. But by and large, I only see like maybe a month or two more until I could fully establish and start recording these podcasts and doing art and pumping out illustrations from that studio. And I'm totally I'm just totally stoked and hyped and stuff. And if you've been wondering like where most of my mind, time, and stress and just focus has been, it's just been on the studio. I do have a couple of commissions that I have to keep updating, and I am getting slow progress on those when I have time and mental energy. So I really do appreciate the patience, you guys, for waiting on those commissions. And I have the sketches and line works done, I believe, at this stage. So I'm still just going to get to coloring and polishing and then letting you know on Telegram or Twitter, wherever I think we talked the last. So yeah, that'll be great. And also to touch back now and bounce back and forth on the TreeBark podcast itself, I know some people also were inquiring about the interviews, like what's happening to all of the creator interviews that you did. And they're not going anywhere. I'm still gonna, keep them on the podcast episode list on my YouTube and wherever I do host this podcast, like on Anchor.fm or Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. I don't intend on changing or wiping out anything. So all future episodes are still going to go up on probably your favorite streaming platforms, wherever, they're most popular. And I want to keep that consistent. But in terms of having just the interviews and consistency and veracity that I had before, I was trying to schedule those like every weekend. And if possible, like that'd be awesome if I could do that. But we'll see if I have just the mental kind of workspace to just schedule and do those and execute consistently. But at the very least, I think like I'm doing now, if I have my iPad or my microphone at home to just record an episode, I think a weekly thing would be really nice. Even if it's short, or if it's like an hour or 2 hour long podcast, or even a 10-minute long podcast, I think that that's still worth sharing. So I don't intend on ever stopping this podcast or deleting it in any way. I'm just going to try and do it when I can and when I'm mentally healthy and the people around me are, a-okay. So yeah, those are my thoughts on just the tree bark as a whole. I would like to set up some more artist interviews, or if somebody wants to come on and chit chat and talk story, I would more than be happy to be down and then like learn about somebody new or what's the happenings, especially in the furry spaces or like the convention spaces that I like. I don't know. There's just so much to talk about with other local furs and furs from across the seas. So I really appreciate, talking and socializing more through that. Yeah. Okay, so that was most of the housekeeping things that I wanted to hit and update you guys on. As far as like I don't know where I was going with that, but now I can just take it a little bit more chill and just like kind of mention some things that I got going on the side. And I've been having a wild time with eBay. I have sort of this love-hate relationship with eBay because I find a lot of cool crap that I really like, and they start off at really good deals, and then they just totally spiral off into just the nature of bidding and just how people seem to just pump up the prices just for the sake of it, but I don't know if they really want it as bad as me, so then I bid against them, and oh my god, and then when you end up winning, you still feel like you kind of lost a lot more than you gained at the end of the bid on eBay. So, I don't know, I'm kind of beating around the bush at this point, but okay, I have just a little tiny obsession with collecting DS games and Nintendo 3DS stuff as a whole because I think the Nintendo 3DS is like my favorite handheld console and just probably console ever. I don't know why. I'm a big fat Nintendo nerd and I'm shameless about it. And I'm an even bigger furry. So if you combine those two things, you get Sora Torobo on DS, and that is I think pretty much a hidden gem amongst a lot of the DS games back in the day because I didn't even hear about it as a kid. Sora Torobo, it's a Japanese amalgamation of just Sky and robots, but they do such a phenomenal job at making it furry because all the characters, the enemies and whatnot, are basically anthropomorphic cats or dogs. And they look so well done, and like the art is so good, the 3D graphics for a DS now. Like you can tell how much the studio poured their love and time into it. And when you combine all that, you get me bidding on the game for $350. So anyway, I won that bid. And I would say that I got a deal for it because the median price for that game goes for $400 to $500. And that doesn't make me any more embarrassed or shameful that I still spent that much money on it. I was kind of skirting around this with the BF, and I was trying to figure out a way to justify spending that much money on a 20-year-old DS game, or like 10 years old. But it's it's one of my most ungodly purchases that I've ever made, and I'm still waiting on it from the seller on eBay because this was about a week ago, and I think they're just about to ship it. I should be getting it within the next week, but I'll let you guys know. I have played this game before, so I know it's good, and I'm not just like, I don't know, just being a total trash furry and then spending the big bucks for no reason other than, ooh, that's hot. Yeah, there's no justifying it. I'm totally shameless about it, but it's gonna be pretty much the magnum opus of my DS collection, and I couldn't be happier to have it on my shelf. It comes in box with a manual. Very, very minor damage to the box, but it's still primo. I love it, and I obsess over it. I don't know why, but I'm just that furry trash. I can't help it. So yeah, definitely gonna be updating that on Twitter too. I did play the ROM before. I did have a cracked 2DS, and I played about, I would say, a quarter of the game, and I was totally sold on it, and I was like, I need it in my physical collection. So that's how that happened. Besides that expense, I think I've been relatively okay. I try to be pretty frugal about spending and not blowing my load too often. But a lot of the other expenses have been going to the studio, and I've been funneling my art monies into the studio, and my day job monies into that, all the while still trying to put away and save normally. So I'm still I would say I'm at a kind of a net zero, maybe a net 0.2. I'm not in the red at all. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay, I think that's all that I can update on right now. I really don't have a whole. Oh wait. Oh my god, I almost forgot about this. Okay, so BLFC is coming up in June, and it has been a good couple of years since I've been to the last BLFC, and I'm so happy to go. That was basically it. I don't know how to end these things again, but I will probably gush and talk about BLFC in the next episode of TreeBark. I don't even know what episode this is, but insert episode here.
Episode 27.
Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'm gonna try and work my butt up to getting back into the groove of things and then posting these podcasts on a maybe regular basis. Who knows? Stay tuned. But I hope you guys all the love and the joy in this world is blessed upon you. Good day. Bye-bye.